All right, welcome to the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life. Today we have Tony Magaña from FTBLR.
What's up, John?
What's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. All right, so I want to just jump right into it. Let's talk about the clothing company. FTBLR, how long has it been around for?
So FTBLR has been around for a little over a year. Okay. I'd say we launched officially Black Friday of last year.
Wow, that's it?
That's it.
Just barely a year?
Just barely a year.
But you have a pretty good social media following.
We do. We've been blessed.
Yeah.
It's been taken really well on social media. We've grown pretty quickly, and yeah, we're blessed for that.
What do you attribute that to? Was there a point ever where it's like, you know, obviously when you first launch your social media campaign and Instagram, you only have a few, followers, 100. Was there ever a point where something kind of happened or what?
I attribute it to a few different things.
Yeah.
I think, putting out pretty cool content, and just being active, posting regularly, hitting people up. I think, it was...
Man, that's a generic answer, okay? Because you know what I'm saying is like everyone can do that and everyone tries to do that. But there's never a ramp up.
You gotta have a cool product too, though.
Okay, there you go.
I think people see that, and people that see it like it, and so I think it spreads through word of mouth.
Was there ever any kind of like specific post or anything where all of a sudden, like, boom, you got like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 followers? You know what I mean? Like anything that kind of went viral or semi-viral?
No, man.
Nothing. It was just organic and just kind of steady growth.
I wish it was like that. I wish one post. We had Valencia. We had Antonio Valencia rock a shirt.
Yep.
And we thought that was going to be it.
Yep.
We thought that was going to catch fire, and we were going to get 10,000 followers. And
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
I know that feeling of having like certain podcast guests where it's like, you know what I mean? And then it's like, it doesn't happen, right? It's just, you never know, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So it's just been steady, hard work, quality, and over a year it's just been, right?
That's what it's been, yeah.
Okay. Tell me let's go into your soccer background then. You have a soccer background, right?
I do.
All right, let's go into it.
So grew up playing recreationally, made the move to club, went into high school, and then had the chance to go down to Mexico, and I was in the Chivas Academy for a while.
Okay. Chivas Guadalajara?
Chivas Guadalajara.
Okay, not Chivas USA, right?
Not Chivas USA. Okay. No, they didn't exist. I'm a little bit older.
Okay.
So
well, how old are you then?
I am 32.
Okay, 32.
Yeah.
Looking pretty good for a 32-year-old, by the way.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. You too.
All right.
So, went out there, didn't quite make it, really competitive. So I came back, finished high school.
Finished high school? What age were you at?
I was like 16.
16, and you had like a tryout for Chivas Guadalajara.
I did.
So you're pretty good then.
I'm okay. I was good.
Okay.
Yeah. So came back and played college. Went to RCC and then Riverside College. Yeah.
Okay.
So Riverside Community College. Played 2 years there, and then made the move to Hope International. So HIU out in Fullerton.
Yeah, shout out to Fullerton.
Yeah. And in between, I actually had a chance to go down to Brazil too. So I had another trial in Brazil, and again, it didn't go as I expected. The competition is just insane down there. So came back and finished my college career here.
Okay. What schools or what teams were you trying out for in Brazil?
So in Brazil, I went to a team called Nova Iguaçu.
Okay.
It's in Rio de Janeiro. Yeah, and they're a second division team in Rio. So even at that level, man, it's really competitive. Yeah.
What would you compare that to here in the U.S.? Like second division, Brazilian.
Man, second division in Brazil, I think would rival, some of our first division teams. It's really competitive. Yeah, it's really competitive.
Okay. So you come back here. Now you're living in the U.S., obviously, right? And how did the decision or the beginning, the impetus of the company come about?
So that came around, I want to say August of last year. It was a buddy of mine actually that came up with the concept. I can't take credit for that. He came up with the name and the original design. And I had actually been going back and forth to Brazil, doing trips out there for another business, another soccer business. And so I had seen, what the situation was like out there for young footballers. And so when I came back this last time, my friend had, let me know about this clothing brand he had in mind, and I loved it. I saw it and I fell in love with it. I was like, yes, this is it. but we got to stand for something. And so coming back from Brazil and seeing the situation out there and saying, you know what, we got to stand for something. Let's give back to less fortunate footballers. And so we kind of merged the two ideas, and that's how the company came to its mission.
Okay, so then like when you're saying that you saw less fortunate balls, you're talking about like when you were out in Brazil. How long? First of all, how long were you out there for?
I would go for 4 to 6 weeks at a time.
Okay, so when you're out there, what you're talking about, like you just see passionate kids that were not, less fortunate, or what is it that you're talking about where you saw an opportunity you're talking about to help and give back?
So I'd go out there and the clubs I was working with, the kids that were playing at this club just didn't have the basic equipment, so they didn't even have cleats.
Okay.
They'd go to this club and the club would provide them cleats. They'd give like their street sandals or something as collateral. They'd train in these cleats and then they'd give them back.
I see. Wow.
And
these are like players that are like trying out for the club and trying to make the team.
These are players on the team.
Wow, these are players on the team.
Yeah,
they've been playing at a pro or semi-pro level, like Division II and whatnot, and they don't even have cleats.
They don't even have cleats.
Wow. Okay.
Or shin guards. Those are things that they've got to borrow from the club, and so it just makes you appreciate everything you've got here. And we're blessed here in the States, and so that's what I was trying to get at.
That's part of the mission, right? Because you guys give a percentage of the proceeds, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how does that work? You give 10% of the proceeds to, how does that, what?
So we give 10% of our proceeds to different organizations that work with less fortunate footballers. So whether it's here domestically, we've worked with clubs, we've worked with AYSO, we'll give them 10% and they can use that toward a scholarship for a player that maybe is having issues with, their club fees, or we've worked with companies in Brazil, like Love Football. They actually build facilities for less fortunate footballers in communities that really need it.
Yeah, a lot of different South American countries, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. Okay, so then tell me what direction you're going in with the company now. What's the, like, there's a lot more interest and companies that are merging in the soccer fashion world, right?
Yes.
So tell me what's the idea behind it? How are you guys trying to stand out?
So I think that one of the things is that giving back to the community, is a big part of our company's motto. So we're trying to do that, and then we're also trying to stay fashionable. So new lines that come out as far as fashion goes. We're talking about different cuts or different ideas. We're trying to stay ahead of the curve as far as fashion. It's not easy.
So then, who would you market to? Like, who would be wearing footballer clothing?
So we try to market all footballers. So whether you play 11-a-side or you play street soccer, if you freestyle, just if you play FIFA, man, you're a footballer,
right.
And that's who we're trying to market to. So, anybody really that loves the sport.
From a company perspective, is it hard to differentiate yourself out in the market? This fly's killing me. Right? Yeah. Is it hard to differentiate yourself in the market?
It's a little tough, man. You got a lot of good brands out there, and we see them, and I'm sure they see us. It's a little tough, but we got to do what we can by putting out the content that we do, by putting out the designs, and picking the right looks. So that's what we try to do. It's not easy.
Right. I've noticed on your social media too that you guys have different pro players wearing your gear, emerging players. You had the little girl, Ariana. Is it Adriana or Ariana? Ariana Dos Santos,
yes.
Right? And you guys have like a collaboration t-shirt with her now,
yes,
right?
Yes.
So then, like, is it like organic? How are these like connections being made? Do you have your personal relationships that you're relying on? What's going on there?
I think when we started originally, it was a lot of the relationships that we had. Just people that we've played with, grew up with. But as we've grown, we've gotten different opportunities through social media. Ariana Dos Santos is one that we met through social media. We reached out to each other. She liked our gear, so we sent her some stuff, and that relationship has evolved into a friendship. So we took it to the next level with her and decided to do like a collaboration shirt. And she's got her footballer line,
right?
And it's really fun. It's really exciting.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see kind of like fashion and urban culture mixing with soccer, right? What do you think for the future? Like, what do you have in mind? You know, anything kind of like do you see in vision as part of the company?
Man, I see it going in all kinds of different directions. You know, hopefully this grows into something just more than an apparel brand. So, you know, without giving away too many secrets, you know, going into maybe like an academy, going into, you know, equipment, just different things. I see it as a brand versus just an apparel company.
Right. And do you focus mostly like on an American audience, or is it more international, you know?
We have focused on a U.S. market, but it's gotten notoriety overseas, you know, and so that's something we've kind of tried to adjust to. So, you know, we've gotten orders from Europe, from Australia, South America. So we've had to kind of change our ideas, and we're trying to cater to everyone.
Okay, so what do you think would be like the ultimate goal or look of the company? You know what I mean? Like in 5 years, you know, I know you as a person that's like managing a company, you're not trying to like emulate anyone or copy anyone, but what's like the ultimate goal, do you think? In like 5 years, you know, what would be the best scenario?
5 years from now, man, I'd like the company to be on a, you know, first name basis or be a household name as an apparel company, but use that as a platform to, you know, try different things like, you know, the academy where we're going into communities and helping kids that maybe don't have the right coaching, you know, getting them the right training. So I see it a little bigger than just an apparel company.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about you then, all right? More on the personal side of things, right? So, is footballer like a full-time thing for you?
Footballer has become a full-time thing for me. It's consumed me. I quit my 9 to 5 and started doing this full-time.
What was your background then, 9 to 5?
My 9 to 5, I was in banking. So I was at Wells Fargo. I was a mortgage rep, you know, selling mortgages to people that needed homes. And it was a good living. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
You know, but
this is complete different, right? Like lifestyle change, right?
Completely different.
Yeah. You went all in, huh?
I went all in. I had to. For this to grow and for this to be a success, I needed to go all in.
Yeah, it's a big gamble though, right?
It is. It is, you know, and I couldn't do that without the support of my family,
right.
my fiance. You know, they've backed me 110%. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this. Okay.
So who's with the company right now? Like, what's the makeup of the company?
So right now, it's actually my dad and I. We've acquired this company. You know, we had some of the original founders kind of drop off because it's not easy, man. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of money, and it wasn't for everyone. So at this moment, it's my dad and I. And it's become this family business.
Okay. So where are like the shirts being made, and how's it being shipped out, and all that, the logistics side of things?
So the shirts are being made primarily here in the U.S. You know, we use manufacturers that are based in L.A. We do the printing at local print shops. We outsource that. The shipping and a lot of the like we got my mom sewing tags. You know, so
it's like a family business, right?
It's a family business, man. My parents helped me with the shipping and just kind of getting orders together. Yeah.
What about the design aspect of it now, right? Because the original person, you know, your partner that was involved, he was the one that came up with the idea, and I'm sure like with the original designs, who's taking on like that creative aspect of the company now? So
the creative aspect, it's been me. You know, the original design was made by my partner, but since then, you know, the monogram, that little crest that we've got, you know, I created that, and I've kind of, you know, taken it on I think I always had like a little background in design and marketing and art, and so moving forward, it's me.
Okay. And then, so now it's like, it's you, your dad, and you guys are, and it's a family business, right? And you guys are all in, and this is like your full-time job now?
Yes.
And do you do anything else like on the side? I know you have a soccer background, so you do some coaching.
Yeah, I do some training. I do some coaching. It's helped pay the bills. So that's what I do it's mostly in the evenings, but during the day it's footballer.
Right, footballer. 24/7 pretty much, right?
24/7 basically, yeah.
All right. Where did you grow up, by the way? You grew up here in LA area or
Yeah,
what?
so I was born in LA, Martin Luther King Hospital, and then was here for about 6 years, and then moved out to Anaheim. Was there till 8th grade, and then moved out to the IE, moved out to Norco Corona for my freshman year of high school.
Okay, and what's your background?
I am Mexican.
You're Mexican, 100% Mexican?
100% Mexican.
Okay, so then it wasn't that big of a blow to you that U.S. didn't make the World Cup?
I identify as American.
Okay.
My background, my parents are Mexican, but I support the U.S. 110%. If I had played, I would have played for the U.S. So it was a big blow, man. It helps that we've got that Mexican background and we can throw on a Mexico jersey.
Yeah, you can still kind of do like a backup team to cheer and root for, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but the fact that U.S. didn't make it, right, is a big blow, right?
It's a big blow, man.
Yeah.
It was disappointing.
Yeah, I think a lot of, most soccer fans are hugely disappointed by the fact that U.S. is not in the World Cup, right? What do you think, like, the next year, like, soccer in America, it's going through a big change, right? Like, there's tons of changes happening, not only in the professional ranks, right, but just on the whole culture and fans. Is like, do you, from your side, right, you're not only a soccer fan, but you have a soccer playing background, and now you're in the business. Like, what do you see, do you see growth of soccer in the U.S.? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I definitely see growth. I grew up, and we didn't even have a domestic league. The MLS was just an idea, and to see where it's come, I mean, it's huge. So it's definitely growing. It's allowed for businesses like ours to kind of develop and prosper, because the sport is growing, and I'm excited about that. The fact that the U.S. didn't qualify, I think that could spark changes that I think are really needed at a domestic level. But
what do you think are the main issues with soccer in the U.S.? What do you think? Everybody has their opinion. Everybody can throw in their 2 cents. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, we can go
hours on this. Hours. Yeah. What do you think are like the main changes kind of that are necessary?
I think, and I'm gonna get some
flack
for this. I think the pay to play.
Yeah, the pay to play model.
Pay to play model, I think, is a big one. I think that as long as that doesn't change, we're gonna continue to struggle.
The club soccer model, you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The club model soccer. It's. I don't think it's healthy for the development of our youth. I think that there's teams that are watered down. You've got kids that maybe shouldn't be playing at that level. Playing on a team where you've got some really talented kids. And I think if we just took the cream of the crop, I think we'd build some really competitive teams, and we're taking a step in that direction with the academy, but I think the pay to play and the youth development is, I think, where we need to improve.
Yeah, because it starts with the youth, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. And like if it's all about you have to have a certain amount of money in order to be recognized or get on a certain team. And of course there's always like exceptions to the rule where certain kids can make it, but the pay to play model you think needs to change for sure?
I think the pay to play model is what's hindering us.
What do you think about, like, once you get to the professional, semi-professional ranks, right? Because there's a huge controversy and debate going on right now with the different levels in professional soccer in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
and
No.
there's promotion, relegation, and whether we should have that and all that going on. I don't know how familiar you are with the NASL and USL going on with Division 2, Division 3. You know, are you a supporter of promotion, relegation in the U.S.?
I am a supporter of the promotion relegation. I think that anytime there's competition, you know, you're going to get the best out of your players and the best out of your team. So I'm a supporter of the promotion relegation. I understand the political part, and you know, you got a lot of people investing a lot of money in these MLS franchises.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a model worldwide, and if we can duplicate that, I think it's only going to help U.S. soccer.
Right.
Every other country seems to do the promotion relegation, and they've got some competitive leagues.
Yeah.
So I think that would help U.S. soccer.
Okay. All right. So now let's change course a little bit. Being in the LA market, right? You live out here in the IE. There's some teams that are emerging. Or do you tip your hat one way to another towards LA Galaxy or to LAFC, or are you like you know?
I don't. You know, I'm a huge fan of soccer or football. You know, so I like to watch good soccer, whether it's Galaxy or whether it's LAFC. Whoever's playing the most attractive soccer is who I'm going to watch at that moment.
Okay.
You know, so I'm not diehard either way.
Yeah, you're not diehard either way. Okay. All right. So what do you have future plans for the company Footballer? You know, what are kind of your immediate goals in mind?
I would like to, you know, continue collaborating with different businesses and entities like yourselves. You know, at the street level, I mean, even at the professional level, if that opens itself up, you know, I wouldn't be opposed to a collaboration with an MLS team or even a bigger apparel company. You know, just trying to get the name out there.
Okay, so then that's kind of interesting because you say if you were to pair yourself up with like an MLS team, right? What kind of collab would be ideal? What are you looking at?
Yeah.
Coming up with like the off, you know, like off, you know, pitch like casual gear for the team, or like, you know, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. Maybe you know, doing some streetwear for a particular MLS team. I think LAFC is kind of the big one right now, and they've got their pulse, or they've got their hand on the LA street soccer scene pulse. So I'll use them as an example. You know, just creating some type of collaboration shirt where we're co-branding a shirt and coming up with different ideas, different color schemes. You know, that black and gold Footballer might look a little good.
Yeah, that'd be nice, right?
Yeah.
All right, so then that's exciting to hear. Hopefully, like in the future, right, you're able to collaborate with either MLS teams or other brands. We look forward to having you. Any kind of last words that you want to leave out to your fans out there in terms of like any words of encouragement or things to look out for Footballer?
I mean, thank you first and foremost. We appreciate all the love and the support. And yeah, you know, stay tuned. We've got some different ideas, different color schemes, limited edition releases, things that we're all working on. Again, we're a young company, so we're trying to time everything correctly. But yeah, I mean, look forward to it.
Yeah, keep an eye out for Footballer, right? Continue to follow Footballer on their social media. Tony Magaña, thank you for coming out. We appreciate
Thank you,
it.
man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for listening in on Urban Pitch, a podcast, A Beautiful Game of Life.